Okay, you are clear to start. When you want to, give me a countdown when you want to start the timer, and let me know when to start.
Excellent, no problem. So, yeah, thank you and welcome everyone. This is Vision Soft Reset. It is Metroidvania by Mark Radosi and Seafloor Games. Great group of developers, and this game is one of those. I don't know how how so few people seem to know about it type of games. But anyway, time will start as soon as I hit A on the new file here, and what we're going to be doing is 100% true ending, which requires us to, as it sounds like, collect 100% of the items, but there is also a slight caveat to how we have to do that. So I'm just going to count us in, and as soon as we're ready, as soon as we get a bit further into the game, we'll cover more details of that. So we'll go in about 3, 2, 1, and go. So we play as Oracle, this character here. We're on a spaceship with our friend Wally, who works with us. So one of the main things about this game, one of the main sort of like twists, if you will, to it that makes it something unique as a Metroidvania is the time travel elements, of which there are three particular ones. The first one is that we can see when things are going to attack us because we can see the future, and we'll see that in a moment when it's going to shoot some blocks of ice at us. You see the little grey parts beforehand. So that's our first one. The second one is we do have the ability to rewind moments within time. So if we take a hit, we can just rewind it, undo that hit, and then reattempt what we're doing. The third one being that we can rewind back to previous save points. So as we collect actual upgrades, we will... I don't think what they're called in this now. Programs? Anyway, the cryptas, that's it. So as we collect the cryptas, which are the skill upgrades, those will stay with us through time travel. Other items will not. So we've now landed on this planet. We're here to collect some phase crystals, which help our character with their time travel abilities and their ability to read the future. So the simplest way to explain it is that basically everything that we do in this game is effectively being predicted ahead of time by our character in terms of the actual sort of in-world development, and that allows our character to then see all possible futures at once. We're going to make a quick save here because, as I mentioned, we can rewind save. So this code we will find later on if you're playing casually, but we know it doesn't change, and this is the quickest way to get where we want to go. Okay, so at the moment there's not a lot that we can do other than just run around, shoot things, jump over the place. But we are going to be picking up 3 items fairly early, which is basically our holy trilogy of movement items. First one is going to be our charge beam, which is going to allow us to just get a little bit of extra momentum when we are doing jumps. It allows us to destroy any charge blocks, obviously. So, a bit of a staple of all Metroidvanias, really, some sort of charge attack. Okay, so that's our charge beam. And as you can see, as I was saying, that was unfortunate. He doesn't always spawn that quickly. But as you see there, rewound, undid the damage that I did, just carry on with the run, and that's one of the beauties of this run. It is very forgiving. There's another save point. We don't need that one. As you may have seen then, just by touching the save point, that'll heal us and restore our vision bar at the top, which is what relates to all of our time travel activities. We need to have at least 25% on it to be able to go back to a previous save. And any sort of use of time travel like that, as you can see, rewinds that takes time off that. So this is our next major item, and this is our dodge. This is probably one of the biggest items in the game in terms of movement. We're going to revert now because I've just picked that up. We won't lose it back to previous save. And the reason this is one of the biggest items for movement is because, as you just saw there, it gives us a quick jump there. Didn't get my angle on that one. I'm not bothered about taking some of these hits because we're going to be hitting another save point in a moment. That cancel jump that we're doing there, so I'm cancelling the actual dodge ability, which is that, and triggering a jump, which gives us the speed boost from the start of the dodge ability. but allows us to just jump straight through with that boost, so we get a lot more height, we get a lot more distance. It's very effective in that regard for us. Excellent, we got the good spawn here. This little enemy can spawn on either side, the first one. Right, he can spawn in awkward spots, get in our way and slow us down. So we've got a good spawn there. So we've got to do this little puzzle, and that's the quickest way to do it. We won't be doing it again, so it's not super important. And that right there is a bunch of the movement that makes this so effective. So we use the dodge, cancel, jump to get ourselves going, charge shot to get ourselves a little bit more momentum, and then a spin dodge at the end to just get that little bit of extra height. And this last line here, the wall run, that is now our trifecta of absolutely amazing movement throughout the rest of the game. So the wall run, as you can see, lets us run up a wall, which lets us get to places we wouldn't normally get to. This item's our alternating shot, so we'll now shoot 1 or 2 bullets every shot. I've got to charge my beam there. So yeah, that dodge cancel jump is a lot quicker to just generally move around with. As you can see there, we're getting around the place pretty quickly. So all these save points you see in here that I'm using to get little heals off. Oh, little trick here, by the way. This beam that I just destroyed, we need 2 health to go through it, unless we're in iframes, in which case it'll just disappear on us anyway. So this heat resistance, that's an item that we don't really need it. But where are we? Sorry, for some reason my D-pad is messing about with me there. But yeah, so we're going to come in now. We're going to fight the first boss. We're going to skip the whole puzzle in this area, which lets us get this code, because just like the other one, it doesn't change. Which makes it very convenient for speedrunning, to be entirely honest. So what you just saw there was I did a spin dodge as I was climbing up the wall, which resets my momentum, and the upwards movement then allows us to go straight through. And this is our first little boss here, but we're not even going to kill this guy. Like, normally we're not that bothered if we get hit by... So, normally we are bothered if we get hit by a boss, because we need to get, as part of this run, we need to collect all of the cards in the run. Cards which we have seen a couple of, but I haven't picked up any up of. We'll get into a bit more detail, but this boss and the next main boss, we need to beat both of them without taking a hit, and we can rewind to undo those hits in order to be able to actually unlock their cards. Now, we need to get all the cards, thankfully, on a single run, where we hit all of the save points as well. That'll become a bit more clear what I mean by that when we get to the end of this section. But right now, we picked up that item from the boss fight, we are rewinding ourselves out of there.
Do you mind if I just shout out a quick donation?
Oh, you most certainly can. I'm guessing Mjernen's in chat?
Yeah, so Maidenon has just given us a £100 donation. So, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for that. The comment is £1 for each percent in VSR. And the donation also goes towards the Show Ninja Girl transformation cutscene in the Final Fantasy VII remake. So that means that donation target has been reached, because we only needed £30 for it. But we've got £100 in it now, so that means that's reached that target. And it also goes towards the language poll, where the £100 has gone towards English. So that means English is currently in the lead on that one, and Japanese and French both have £0. So if anyone wants to change that poll, then you can do so. You just have to donate a little bit. But thank you so much, Maidenon, for the £100 donation. That puts us about halfway nearly to our milestone to give away a Train Simulator Classic code. So that's a Steam code for Train Simulator Classic. So we're almost halfway there now, so I think we definitely will reach that milestone. So don't forget, if you guys want to try and win a copy of that game, then be sure to get us to £250 raised for Everyone Can.
Yeah, big shout out to Mjern there, who is one of the dev team for this game. If I remember correctly, I'm not even going to guess because it's not that time of day and it's not working in my brain right now. Right, so just before we read out the donation there, we turned the power on. The power affects a number of things on the planet, but the main thing it affects, the thing that we need the power for, is there's going to be a block in an upcoming room. It's not this one, it's the very next room we go into, which is moving because the power's on. And it doesn't move if the power's not on. We need it to move because we need to hit. You may have noticed when I came into this area, hit the little A note at the start. So we need to hit 4 notes. No, that's not a good one. By hitting these 4 notes, when the clock reaches 10 minutes on the top right there, the wind is going to blow through this area and it's going to play the music from those 4 notes. And that is going to open the boss door to this area for us. Now this boss we are going to fight all the way through this time. Oh. Having a couple of little moments here. But we've got 2 notes left to get. We've got the first one right as we came into the area. Oh, bad shot. There's the 3rd one. So we've got the 4th one down the bottom, which is what we needed the power for. And that's all of them. So we're actually running way ahead in terms of the game timer is what I was looking for up there. So we're going to grab that item. That was one of the first cards I think we've picked up, if not the first. And there's a card in here we're also going to pick up. So we get this animation the first time we pick up a card, no matter what card it is. But on the next playthrough, or on the single loop at the end of all of this is the door, by the way, which as you can see, claw does nothing, shooting does nothing. Timer, and those notes are all we need. And this is our second boss, Salatia. This boss can be a bit challenging. So this is what you want to do. You want to get yourself in the air with him while he's doing this motion. Drag his health down as quickly as you can. We're going to try and get a quick finish on him here. There we go, excellent. That's about as well as that fight can hope to go in the first round. But we are going to be coming back and fighting this boss again. It's this boss we wanted to beat. So by picking up this card, the boss card, because we didn't take any damage, this boss is going to take double damage off us next time we fight it as well. But this is what we're really here for, the speed booster. And now that we've got that, we are going to go all the way back to before we fought the cat boss. Now we're going to go to the planet's core. Now this is something you actually do very early in a casual run of this. But then we're going to go a bit further through it. So, there's another save point. And again, every time I touch the top of the save point, it fully restores my health and my vision. Something I didn't mention, when I picked up the heart piece at the top, was that the heart pieces, which increase your health, and they're like blue crystal things, which increase your vision ability, which is what allows us to do all the time travel stuff. We don't actually need to collect them. In a rather curious sort of situation, those items, we only have to enter the same room that they're in, and they count towards our information percentage. So in this game there's 2 different percentages for item collection. There's information and there's physical, where physical is we have that item, information is we have either collected it or we know where it is. Okay. So we're gonna go all the way down there so we can speed boost all the way up here. Take ourselves all the way up to the top, and there's another heart piece. We've technically got that percentage point now. We are going to collect them all on our single loop through, because at the end of the day it's 100% true ending, and it does feel a little bit dirty when you do 100% but don't collect 100% of the items. Oh, almost fell down there. So this boss that is coming up next is the virus. Now pay attention to that little green portal that's just thrown this item at us. In a casual playthrough you find this in a completely different area. So if you try and come down here without doing that bit, this is what happens. That little portal appears, it throws it at you. We're not bothered about that hit because we're not planning on taking another hit here. So these black squares are completely unaffected by our ability to time travel. They keep moving the same no matter what. But we can still use the time travel to undo hits that we've taken here. So we got to kill 4 of these green crystals as we do this. That's 3. And we're going to get a decent fight here. So once we've got that, Wally is going to talk to us from the ship, and we're going to crack out of our shell. Because it turns out that virus that we got has infected our suit. That's what's causing us to see these things, and they're not actually there. But they still hurt us. So, you know, I'm not going to get into the physics behind how that might work. I think that's a problem for the game developers to consider, if they care at all. But hey, it works. So we're going to just come down here. We're looking now for another suit that we can jump into. We have seen 1 or 2 floating about as we've been progressing through the game. You may have noticed them. You may have sort of just seen them as background decoration. But here is the next one we're going for. What we're going to get here, we're going to get rewound. Somebody else is rewinding us. This isn't me. Not touching the rewind. Oh. And we're going to go all the way back out to the start of the game. So now in terms of time, we are right where we first landed on the planet, and we're going to start our full clear up. So that boss getting out of the suit has given us the ability to just request Wally ejects us from the suit whenever. And that allows us to get access to little areas like this. So we're going to keep going around here. We're going to go and fight the cat boss again. And Griga, or Griga, however you choose to pronounce that name. This time, we are going to beat him, and we are not going to take a hit. And if we take a hit, we're going to have a very quick rewind, so it's as if we never did take a hit. Okay, so I'm going to concentrate on this. So if you want to talk with the charity or something while I'm doing this, please feel free, Insta. I'm quite happy for that to go ahead.
So, I don't think we have any new donations in. Let me check. No, we don't have any new donations in, but if anyone does want to donate, then if you type ! donate in the chat, that will bring up the Tiltify link for the mini InstaSpeedathon 2022, and all donations through that will go directly to EveryoneCan, which is the charity that we are helping out. They're a really great charity. They help like disabled people to play games and stuff with assistive technologies. They have a gaming centre in Manchester, so they're quite local actually to me. I only live about an hour away in Wrexham, so they're quite local, and I have met them before, and they do fantastic work. So please do help out as much as you can. We've raised £120 so far. If we reach £250, I'll be giving away a copy of Train Simulator Classic to one lucky winner who's in the chat tomorrow after the event. But we need to reach that £250 before we do that. In any case, the event goal is £500, and I really hope we can reach that as well. Also, you can help us raise some funds with other things as well. So we have Twitch stuff, so you can subscribe, cheer, watch adverts, and we'll get a little cut from them. And basically what we'll do with the Twitch revenue, so anything that's subscriptions, bits and all that stuff, we will split it half, where 50% goes to us and 50% goes to EveryoneCan from Twitch revenue. And that's just to help us to build InstaSpeedathon going forward as well, so we can make even better events next year. And also merch sales. If you want to buy some merch, if you type ! merch in the chat, you'll find a link to the InstaSim store. You can buy mugs, coasters, birthday cards, Christmas cards. Get that perfect gift for someone if you want. And half of the profits from that will also go to EveryoneCan this weekend.
Thank you for that. So, as you saw there, we beat the boss. For some reason, I forgot at the very start of that fight that I could also use the claw on him, which would have saved me a bit more time than it already did. But yeah, so we beat that boss, gone around, picked up a few items, got his card. We'll take that hit. And now we're on our way back up. So, you may have noticed as well that I took a save there. And the reason I took a save there is because we have to save at every single save point on a single loop like this in order to be able to access one item. And it's quite an important item, especially when we're doing 100%. Oh, especially, and the true ending for that matter. So We're going to go over the ship because it's quicker than waiting for the portal to go back through. And we're mostly just in cleanup now, so we're just picking up all the cards that we can find across the game. We're going to be picking up the hearts and the vision crystals as we go. This one always gives me a bit of trouble, but nope, it's going to be friendly today. Like, it should be consistent, but, you know, my hands tell me otherwise. So we're going to be looping back around a lot of the stuff that we've already seen map-wise. We're just going to be using the claw to smash these in, and... oh. Picking up these couple of items that we haven't already picked up. So this one, the charge magnet, it's a great item casually, but to be honest, for the purposes of a speedrun, it's basically useless to us. We're going to jump over this save point for a second. We're not going to open this gate this time, and we're going to pick up this heart. Which, if you want a casual playthrough, that would probably be the first item you'll find. Now we're going to come back, and now we're going to make this save. So I actually forgot to make that save in a practice run earlier, which was quite annoying. I think it's the first time I've ever forgotten that one. But hey-ho, it happens. We're going to keep progressing upwards and across. So when we get up here now, one thing you'll notice, that vine that we shot through earlier is going to be different. I'll let you see it before I mention it. And the reason for it being different, though, is because... there we go. So you can see it's all blacked out now with the pink flowers on it. So those vines are time restricted. If we don't get there within the appropriate time frame, as you just saw there, it's blocked off. I don't remember, I think it might be 30 seconds for every flower that's on it, or it might be a minute. Oh, that's an unfortunate place to take a hit, but I'm going to accept that one because the enemy is dead. That is... that enemy there, one of the most basic enemies in the game, absolute run killer. If you were talking about going for a world record run, I probably would have reset that. Because it's just infuriating when you lose that, you have to backtrack and take all that time. But we can live with it for this. It's not the end of the world, it's just, you know, speedrunners complaining about little things, really. Okay, so... these orbs, you may remember we passed a green one before. These orbs, there's 4 in total. These are the key that's going to open the gate at the end of the game. So if you played Super Metroid by any chance, very much like G4, the golden statues that you unlock for killing each of the bosses. So we're going to hop up here and make a quick save quickly. And basically this loop here is to hit all of the saves, collect all of the cards, and get those 4 orbs. We're just going to be jumping in and out of our suit briefly for the next couple of minutes while we do this. Thankfully, there's only one item that we need to collect in this maze. This would be fun if we had more than one item to get. But just a little pathway through. Everything leads out to the same area, so it's not as if we can go the wrong way. It's just a case of making sure we get that card. And now we are into the area where, you may remember, I just fought that virus boss. We're not going to go back over that way because we don't need to, but we're going to look at this little area over here we didn't really explore. We're going to move these ice blocks around by shooting them. And we're going to take a little shortcut rather than swim through all the water, just jump straight through that path there. And there is our purple orb. But we're going to have to go around twice, because we also need to get this card. So that's not too bad, we got straight down with that. Thankfully, this little oracle, as a little worm, is quite quick in the water, which is great. So usually, you would be swimming around a lot more of this on a casual playthrough. You would be coming all the way down that path you see on the left, which we're about to go up, and you'd be doing that full loop twice. Where are we here? Okay. And now we're back in the suit, and we're done with this little section. We got our purple orb, we got our cards, that's what we needed. So this next section coming down here, this one, we just need to... oh. We just needed to avoid at least one of those because we have the extra heart. But as you saw, they take a full heart's health, so don't want to get caught bouncing between those cables. So maybe remember down in the planet's core, we might actually see the planet's core this time. This jump doesn't always... Nope, this jump didn't work in my favour this time. So you saw the planetary core there, which had a little bit of a shield on it. And that shield is damaged. That's what's causing the meltdown of the planet. That's another point. When we hit 20 minutes, the entire planet's going to melt down. That's what the salesman, the lizard creature that we saw after I just fought the Greiger, the cat boss, has caused. Okay, and we're going to now start heading back up towards the main chunk of the planet, out of the core. Just going to run all the way up here. The only way to get up here this way is by sprinting. Unfortunate there. And we've got a couple of save points, and we've got one of the hardest items to collect coming up, one of the cards. I'll mention specifically when we get there, but we've got, I think, another save point at least to get before we get over there. So yeah, as I was saying, we are going to collect all of these items, even though, technically speaking, we only have to walk into the room with them. So. Okay, I definitely think I need to change my D-pad. I use an old SNES controller with an adapter to run this because it doesn't require all the buttons. And that's the controller I had when I started speedrunning this. I've never really learned it on another one since. Okay, so you may remember we're down here. So now this is the save point. So after this save point right here, it's kind of important that I try not to lose health. Obviously, if you want to do it as quick as possible, take that risk. But it is definitely possible to get through this section without losing any health. This particular bit is problematic for it sometimes. There's little spikes in the walls and the awkward pathway we've got to take. But we're going to be fine. You'd swear I've done this before or something. Okay. Which way? Come on, dude. He's just being awkward now. Oh, we are taking way too many hits here. I definitely don't want to take that last one. Okay, there we go. So, again, that's one of those, if it was a world record run, we wouldn't be doing it. There we go. So this is the hardest item, in my opinion, in the game to collect. You saw what I had to do. I had to drop down on the left, use the charge shot to get on the other side, and then drop through. It's not easy. It's not. Like, it's a good bit of practice to get that down consistently. And I think I saw Java in the chat. He is... I believe Java's a he. Apologies if it's not a he, Java. But the Java is the other world record holder within this game. And I say that because between the two of us, well, we have or have held every single record in the game right now. Yeah, so we're going to head back into the cat's base. And look, more save points. Always save points. And we're going to be heading back down. We're going to take a slight shortcut, but then we're going to backtrack and go down the path we went in the first time we came through here. As you see, we don't need to do the puzzles anymore. We'll just use the claw to smash straight through them. Brute force in it. Here we go. And that's us taking advantage of the claw and the abilities that it gives us there. Okay, so... like, what am I doing? That is very much one of those... what am I doing sort of moments there, hence why I said, what am I doing? For some reason, I just completely messed up my jump. That should have been a very straightforward jump to avoid the clouds. Right, so we're going to head back down now. We're going more or less back to where we got the wall jump at the start of the run. We're following that as it passed, but as you can see, much like the other area, that vine is also now blocked off. But we've got save points to get. So this is another one of the most annoying rooms in the run, because it is very easy to get your health sapped without much going on. Yeah, we'll take that. And we're just going to be running through these rooms, taking advantage of the claw in the air to get us across things. Taking advantage of our down shots for the extra momentum and height. And also the spin dash. So we are about to collect orb number 3. And this one, this is actually... that's unfortunate. I mistimed my jump at the start there. So this is actually the area which really highlights where those 100% items, the ones that you need to collect, it's not the quickest always to get them. So first we're going to come here and get a couple of cards. And once we've grabbed those cards, we're going to sprint back here. Like this room, effectively, we can skip the whole room. You can literally poke your head in, get the percentage point for seeing the item, or entering the room the item's in, and then leave. As I said earlier, we're going to collect all of them. It is 100% true ending after all, so... Okay, we're going for a swim as the worm now. So that allows us to skip that arena there. We don't really want to fight in any of the arenas, they waste time. This ghost is going to chase us. He's not very nice, or it's not very nice. And I'm not doing this well at all. Oh my word. Sort it out now. Oh my word, what am I doing? That was probably the worst ghost chase I've had in a very long time. I feel slightly embarrassed that people saw that, to be entirely honest. But, yeah, so we got through there, we picked up these items. Now this is the shell escape, which allows us to just get out of the suit without talking to Wally. Unfortunately, by the time we get it, it's not really that useful to us. There is a specific use for it. There is a specific category of the game which I don't think anyone has a submitted run for yet, where you can get a slightly different bit of text off the final boss by stripping out of your suit before speaking to them. And there we go. So this water section is just a case of us now escaping. You would go completely the opposite direction here in a casual game. We've just done that entire section completely backwards. That's just how we are, you know, speedrunners. We want to do things quicker. It turns out it's quicker to do that bit backwards. Okay, so we are now coming up to the final few items before we go back up to the sky. In fact, no, one more item, I think, before we go back to the sky area. All the trees at the top, and go after that boss again. Yes, okay, so that's the last one now. We're going back up to that tree area that we were in earlier. We're going to go collect all the items that are up there, and beat the boss. If my D-pad will actually stop dropping input. Okay, we don't need to worry about the notes this time. Because we've got the speed booster, that's going to get us into the boss room, and as you may have noticed, the time is already past 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the only arena in the game that I actually intend to complete. And it's not useful right now, but it will be shortly. Get near the end there so we can get a speed boost. Okay, so this is going to be us grabbing now the 4th orb. Ah, what? So yeah, so that's one where we clearly miss it on purpose. It's a lovely little trick if you go to get that item there, that you just miss that. It's just slightly infuriating, but very amusing at the same time. We're going to go up here. And as I mentioned, we are going to go and collect all of health pieces. So that's our final one there. And now we've got one more of the blue crystals to get. We do have to come back and collect these cards. Even though I've collected them previously, we still have to get them because we need them all on a single playthrough. We have to be in possession of all of... We have to have the physical percentage for the cards going into the final boss. But because we did them earlier, we don't have to sit through the animation. So... Okay, so this is the arena room that you may have seen me clear out. And it's about to become obvious why I cleared it out already. Oh, that was too early. There we go. Love that rewind ability, it really is a game saver. So we're going to fight this boss again. This time we are just going to smash him to smithereens. And you can see his health just disappearing on him there. So yeah, having the double damage and so double beam shot, which we picked up, the double damage from having the card for them, it is absolutely destructive. Makes the boss fights way quicker. But now is where we find out, or well, nearly where we find out, if I have made a mistake and not hit all the save points. I don't think I have, but we will find out. Okay, so we're going to go up to the final area, and on this run, on the any percent you would have seen this already, but on this category, this is the first time we're seeing this. As I mentioned, the 4 orbs are the keys to the gate that we need. And boom, we are into the last boss. But as you may remember, I mentioned that we've got at least one other item, and there's an item that we need all the save points to collect. Well, there's a save point up here, which we have to go and hit. That is our final save point. And there we go. So we didn't miss any because this bit here would be blocked off if we had, and we would not be able to collect this card, the salesman. That lizard guy we saw earlier, who seems to have very similar abilities to us. Able to time travel, able to manipulate time in short sort of bursts. But unlike us, the salesman isn't going to win. So yeah, so we did have a very brief chat with the salesman when we encountered him earlier, where they basically told us to meet them at the top of the mountain here. And now we are going to wait for the destruction of the planet. This big ice block on the right, we can't do anything with. We can't move it, we can't break it. There's absolutely nothing. So just to show you, gives you this little text box saying that we can't move it. But I think a planetary meltdown might do something about it. So, look, we are still alive after the entire planet has gone into meltdown. So we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to go all the way up the top. Once we get near the top, so it's not this room. This is the last but one room before we would fight the final boss. Oh, messing this up. This is the boss room, but we got all the cards. We got 100%. We got all of the cards. That's the main thing. And because we got all the cards, we're just going to have a friendly game of cards instead. But that is time, by the way. Sorry. I should have said that as soon as we spoke to him at the top there. But, yeah. Big shout-outs to Seafloor Games and the guys behind this game. It is absolutely fantastic. Shout-outs to Java and Felician, who are probably the 2 people who have given me the most knowledge in terms of being able to play the game. 34-12, that's pretty good. It's a pretty competitive time, and that's, you know, in a marathon style run. So all in all, that's gone pretty well. I just want to recommend, if you have not played this game, get on Steam, grab it, give it a go. It's absolutely fantastic. There's a randomizer for it, and the community around it's great. The devs are super, super helpful and supportive. But yeah, that is pretty much it from me. So I'm going to hand it back to Insta, and thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you very much for taking part today. So, as we come to the end of that, first and foremost, the time that we've got 37:56, which is really good as well. I assume that it's in-game time that the actual game itself uses.
It is,
Obviously,
yes, but I can tell you for the real time, for the world record, it's only 1 minute and 6 seconds behind.
Oh, right, that's not bad at all.
So, you know, we're really good pace there. Especially
Really
considering
good
I didn't feel good about that run.
Fair enough.
Speedrun's curse.
Yeah. Right then, so donations. Of course, we are raising money for Everyone Can. They're a fantastic charity. They help disabled people play games and stuff. They have a gaming centre in Manchester as well, and they use assistive technologies to help people. We've currently raised £120 to Everyone Can. If we reach £250 in total, then of course I'll be giving away a copy of Train Simulator Classic with a bunch of DLC to go with it as well. So if you guys want to have that giveaway go ahead, make sure to get that donation total to £250 before the end of the marathon tomorrow. And of course the goal for the marathon is £500. Let's try and get to that goal as well. If you want to donate, type !donate in the chat. That will bring up the link to the Tiltify page. And all the proceeds through that will go to Everyone Can directly. You can also help raise funds through Twitch revenue streams, and that's using subscriptions, bits, watching ads, and as well, and anything else that constitutes Twitch revenue. At the end of the marathon, that will be split evenly between ourselves and Everyone Can. So 50% of that will go to Everyone Can at the end of the marathon. And obviously as well, we've got merch sales as well. So if you want some merch, !merch in the chat, and you can find some merchandise on the InstaSim store. So you got mugs, coasters, birthday cards, Christmas cards, and all that stuff, and half of the profits from those will also go to Everyone Can. So if you have a Prime subscription that you haven't used yet and you want to use it to help charity and to also help us make InstaSpeedathon even better going forward, then feel free to use it on us if you want, or just do anything else and find other ways to raise money, or you can just watch the stream as well, because adverts help too. So thank you, mrddraig, for the run today. It's been absolutely fantastic to watch. The next run we have is Ping Winnek Kelvin, no major skips, which is actually a fairly short run, actually, and that'll be starting in about 10 minutes time. So we're going to go over to the interval now, put some music on for you all, and we will go over to Shotu in about 10 minutes.